coming up. From the Northeast Live studios in Guwahati, Northeast Tonight with Wasbir Hussain.
Hello and welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. Will the BJP under Chief Minister N. Biren Singh return to power in Manipur? That's the big question as the state goes to polls next month. In the last few weeks, there has been a steady inflow of political leaders who have joined the BJP after deserting their parties, largely the Congress. But now, the reverse seems to be true. There are a lot of people from the Congress who have gone and joined the BJP. A lot from the BJP has joined the Congress. The result is for all to see. When the BJP announced the names of its candidates yesterday for all the 60 seats, 3 sitting party MLAs besides a host of aspirants were denied tickets. Supporters of some of those who did not get the party nominations to contest the upcoming polls took to the streets in protest and burnt party flags and banners to express their discontent. Question arises, will the problem of plenty that the BJP in Manipur has found itself in going to hurt the party's prospects? Another area of curiosity is the current ally NPP contesting 40 seats this time. This brings in the question as to whether the BJP considers the Congress or the NPP as its main challenger. Also, there is speculation as to whether the BJP would retain its allies in Manipur like the NPF or the NPP if it manages to get the numbers on its own. Well, to get answers to some of these questions and more, I am joined tonight by A. Sarada Devi, Manipur BJP President. Also with me is K.H. Debabrata, Manipur Congress spokesman. BJP leader M. Prithviraj, who is the party candidate for the Moirang seat, joins me from Imphal, and also with me is Ritika Yumnam, youth president of the NPP in Manipur. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Let me first go to you, Miss Sarada Devi ji, Manipur BJP president. Sarada Devi ji, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Now, BJP जो है कल सारा 7 सीटों के लिए कैंडिडेट का नाम घोषणा कर दिया है. Does it mean that you are fully confident of a good show? क्योंकि मैं ये प्रश्न इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ, एक साथ में बीजेपी ने सारा 7 सीटों से के लिए कैंडिडेट्स का नाम घोषणा एक साथ में कर दिया. Are you fully confident?
हाँ जी, जो हमने 60 कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का 60 कैंडिडेट कल हमने अनाउंस किया है कि मणिपुर में भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरा फुल कॉन्फिडेंस है कि जो हमारी टारगेट रखा है वही पूरा हम सक्सेस हो जाएगा, इसका कॉन्फिडेंस है.
राइट. सरदा देवी जी, ये जो कॉन्फिडेंस है, ये कॉन्फिडेंस कहाँ से आ रहा है?
इसमें ये जो कॉन्फिडेंस ये है कि भारत के जो ऑनरेबल प्रधानमंत्री जो है, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने जितना अच्छा जो काम कर रहे हैं पब्लिक के लिए, वेलफेयर को स्कीम को लेके काम कर रहे हैं, इसके साथ साथ मणिपुर में हमारी बीजेपी लेड गवर्नमेंट से ऑनरेबल चीफ मिनिस्टर एन बीरेन सिंह जी के सरकार ने यहाँ में भी हमारी स्टेट बेस, लोकल बेस ना स्कीम जो किया है पब्लिक वेलफेयर के लिए, और डेवलपमेंट का काम जो है वही भी कर रहे हैं. और भारत सरकार की ओर से ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने भी बहुत कुछ कर रहे हैं. तो इसलिए पब्लिक का एक अभी वॉइस आया है, जो मैंने ये वॉइस सुना है कि 27 इयर्स के बाद, 25 इयर्स के बाद मैंने ये सुना है आवाज़ कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट देंगे. हम ऐसा पार्टी प्रदेश के लिए अच्छा काम करेगा करके हमने वॉइस हमको मिला है, ब्लेसिंग मिला है, इसलिए मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस है। तो पहले हम जब 1995 में इलेक्शन कैंपेन के लिए उतर के जो फील्ड में गए, तब एक ही आवाज़ मिला कि हम राजनीति दल के ऊपर विश्वास नहीं है, जो राजनीति वाला के ऊपर विश्वास नहीं है, हम वोट नहीं देंगे करके बहुत जो वॉइस मिला हमको। तो इस बार हमको ब्लेसिंग मिल रही है, इसलिए मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस है।
ओके, सरदा देवी जी आप बने रहिए। लेट मी गो टू मिस्टर देवव्रता, मणिपुर कांग्रेस स्पोक्सपर्सन। मिस्टर देवव्रता, how do you see the situation? Because in the last few weeks, couple of months, several of your party MLAs and leaders had deserted you and have gone and joined the BJP. But again, we have seen the reverse, at least although in a small scale. Today we have seen sitting MLA P. Sarath Chandra from the Moirang constituency quitting the BJP and joining your party. Now, what does all this signify? Because after this I will go to Mr. Prithviraj, because it is almost like a reverse what has happened. He has shifted from the Congress and joined the BJP in contesting Moirang. The sitting MLA BJP left the BJP and joined the Congress. I'll come to Prithviraj on this. But Mr. Devabrata, what is going on in Manipur?
Wasbir, I'll come to the point raised by the BJP President Sarda Devi, that people are going to vote BJP because they like the BJP. I'll come to a simple point. Last fortnight, the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Home Minister came to Imphal to inaugurate, to lead foundation for about, all put together, 5,000 crore worth of development works. In fact, at the end of this term, it could have been the inauguration day of those schemes, but they have just started 5,000 crore worth of schemes for the state, combining all other small schemes put together in the package, which has already been in the these things of the government. So this means they have done nothing but just started doing at the end of the year. The people of Manipur have seen, witnessed what they did, the government did in handling with the COVID crisis. How many people have died because of the negligence of the government? Starting from the day the government was formed, all was done in violations of the 10th schedule of the Constitution by neglecting its implementation and the application, willfully doing wrong in the merit of in the constitutional merit. So now people has fed up, and the fed up, we have a lot of approaches from the intending candidates of the BJP, which we denied. We denied entry to the party with the exception of one or two that you have seen today. Now, as the BJP believe it is not going to happen, the body is going to split in 4 different directions. That I will come in the next episode, that if you give me the chance, opportunity to speak more.
Right.
Because it is very complicated, more complicated than the president of the BJP put in as her view, but this is completely wrong.
I'll come back to you, Mr. Devabrata. I'll definitely come back to you. Let me turn to you, Mr. Prithviraj Singh, the BJP candidate for Moirang. Mr. Prithviraj Singh, you know, yesterday we have seen the BJP, your party, announcing all the 60 seats at one go in New Delhi. And immediately after that, we have seen a lot of discontent within the BJP. Some of the supporters of your party aspirants, ticket aspirants, they took to the streets, they burned down flags and banners of the BJP, they expressed their protest, they expressed their resentment in public. Now, do you think this is going to be a tough challenge for the BJP to neutralize this discontent?
Well, Wasbir, not at all, because see, this kind of situation we have seen in many past elections. Because before an election, a lot of ticket aspirants, multiple ticket aspirants happen in different constituency, and only one single person can be allotted a party ticket. So once a ticket allotment is happened, then some knee-jerk reaction stuff happens in some few constituencies. And yesterday, yes, it did happen in about 4 or 5 constituencies, but rest of the 50 plus constituency was completely peaceful. So this was expected, but these things we can't help. But we have seen, like I've said, we have this kind of situations have happened in the past. But this has nothing to do with the outcome of the election. And like I said, the BJP is a party which is a completely different party. All the party ticket were given based on surveys. 3, 4 surveys were conducted in the last 3, 4 months. And when I joined the BJP in the month of October, I was never assured a party ticket, and I believed in the good governance and the work and the philosophy of the Bharatiya Janata Party under the dynamic leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. And
Right.
so I believe.
Before Prithviraj, before turning to Ms. Ritika, I want to ask you one more question. You see, the sitting MLA of your party now, as far as until recently, until today actually, was Mr. P. Sarath Chandra Moirang. Now, you are a new entrant to the BJP. The people are thinking that why should the new entrant be given a ticket, and why should the sitting MLA or somebody else who has been holding on, hoping to get a BJP ticket, not be given the ticket? Now, you are saying that survey was done. That means, are you saying that the survey clearly indicated that you are going to win and Sarath Chandra is not going to win? Is that what you are saying?
Yes, technically, yes. That's what I said. The Bharatiya Janata Party is a party with a difference. I have seen in other parties, you have a lot of, tickets are given. See, tickets are, in some parties, sitting, getting kind of a stuff happen. But in the BJP, not only in the state of Manipur, if you have seen in the ticket announcement allotment of the Uttar Pradesh election also in phase wise, many sitting MLAs were denied tickets. So this basically means that the winnability is a factor, and the surveys are very,
Right.
very important. And you have, the party is decided by the BJP Central Parliamentary Board, which is headed by the Honorable Prime Minister, by State National President.
Right.
Then we have the in charges. We have the Honorable Chief Minister, State President. So all lot of people.
Right.
One single individual cannot decide on the
Right.
fate of a particular candidate. So
Okay,
it's a very free and
I'll
fair,
come back to you.
transparent process.
Right. Prithviraj, I'll come back to you. I'll go to Ritika, but quickly, one more question. Since we are talking about the unhappiness within the BJP, Sarda Devi ji, बहुत ही नाखुश है, काफ़ी आपका कैंडिडेट जो है, सिटिंग एमएलए तीनों को टिकट डिनाई किया गया है, एंड काफ़ी जो एमएलए, काफ़ी जो आपका पार्टी का नेता थे, जो ये आशा करके बैठे थे कि आपको टिकट उनको मिलेगा, लेकिन उनको नहीं मिला. तो ये अनहैप्पीनेस कल हमने देखा, स्ट्रीट प्रोटेस्ट, आपको क्या कहना है? आप क्या कहेंगे?
ये फर्स्ट टाइम नहीं है. राजनीति तो ऐसे चलता ही रहता है, ऐसा ही करके आया है. ये कल जो टिकट अनाउंस करने के बाद जो हुआ है, तो ये फर्स्ट टाइम नहीं है. तो इसलिए मैं ये कहना चाह रही हूँ कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने इतना अच्छा जो सर्वे भी किया और कार्यकर्ता का ओपिनियन पोल लिया, ये सब करने के बाद हमने इस बार हमारी हिस्ट्री में, पॉलिटिकल हिस्ट्री में फर्स्ट टाइम, वन टाइम 60 कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का टिकट हमने अनाउंस किया है भैया. ये हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस है.
This is the breaking point in this breaking on notice tonight. The BJP has clearly said that they have issued the tickets to their intending candidates on the basis of internal surveys. तो सरदा देवी जी, आपने सर्वे किया, यही आपका रहा है, इंटरनल सर्वे, राइट सरदा देवी जी?
सर्वे, हम सर्वे जो अलग अलग तरीके का सर्वे किया है, जो एक ज़माना में जो फील्ड में जाके डायरेक्ट पब्लिक कांटेक्ट करके भी कर लेते हैं. हाउस अभी तो अलग अलग जो हमने सर्वे टाइप का जो हमने सर्वे किया है, और पहली बार कार्यकर्ता का ओपिनियन लेके भी हमने ऐसा अनाउंसमेंट किया है. दिस टाइम हमने कार्यकर्ता ओपिनियन प्लस हम अलग अलग तरीके का सर्वे लाइन जो है, सर्वे बेस, वही करके टिकट दिया है.
Okay. BJP state president, they are saying that several forms of survey, different modes of surveys were carried out in Manipur. One was surveys with the Karyakartas of the party, their opinions were taken, and secondly, different types of other methodologies were used to check on the winnability of the candidates. So this is the breaking story at this point of time. Let me turn to you, Miss Ratika Yumnam, the NPP Youth President for Manipur. Miss Ratika Yumnam, you know, your party, the NPP, is contesting 40 seats. That means you are a serious contender for grabbing power in Manipur. Can we understand that NPP is a serious player in the Manipur elections?
Wasbir, certainly we are a serious contender this time, and of course, unlike other parties, we are not fielding 60 or something like that. We are concentrating it more in terms of quality and not necessarily quantity. So for now, we're concentrating more on just 40, and from that we have a possibility of winning 20 plus. So we believe in channelizing our resources, our manpower, and everything in a more concentrated manner, and that is more of the strategy. So we are a bit more practical and humble in our approach, and unlike some other people who want to say that we will cross 30, 40, because in Manipur, it will be a coalition government at the end of the day. No party is going to have this, the magic number, the 30 plus. So in that sense, NPP will come out as the single largest party, and we will be a major force this time.
So, Ratika, now basically, I have been speaking to BJP leaders. We have two top BJP leaders sitting on this program today. I'll ask them for their opinion. I will also go to Mr. Devabrata of the Congress. Now, my question to you, Ratika, when some of the BJP leaders saying that yes, it is a friendly fight because NPP is still our alliance partner. We have Deputy Chief Minister himself is from the NPP, so on and so forth. But do you consider it as a friendly fight? Can there be anything called friendly fight during an election?
I think that the friendly fight is a bit used very loosely. I think in election, every party, if they have not formed the pre-poll alliance, they will go all out. So this question of friendly or not, that is something that, of course, the people have to say, but we are going all out. So, of course, in terms of, we would not be using any undemocratic means to go through with this election. So in that sense, of course, friendly. But then we will also go all out to win, and in a very peaceful and democratic way. So maybe friendly in that sense, but we have our own agendas very clear as well.
I'll come to Prithviraj for the reaction, but let me once again go to Mr. Devabrata of the Congress. Mr. Devabrata, a lot of people are asking the BJP this question: who is your main challenger? Is it the Congress or the NPP? Now, my question to you: what do you yourself think? Is the Congress the principal opposition party in Manipur today, or do you think now that the NPP is contesting 40 seats, and you have heard the NPP spokesperson, NPP leader saying that they're going all out to win more than half of these 40 seats and emerge as the largest single party? That means they are also seriously meaning business. What is your opinion? What do you think, Devabrata?
Wasbir, NPP is contesting 40 seats, does not have any challenge to the Congress, because the seats they are now contesting only reduces the votes of they are eating out the votes of the BJP, because they are forming the government, they are partners to the same government, running the government. Now they are almost splitting, and splitting for the betterment of the state, because NPP doesn't like to belong to the group that BJP lead the government. Therefore, the NPP's vote bank are generally they are eating out from the BJP. Congress is our vote bank. We have our own base, and it doesn't affect anything. In spite of the BJP implementing Congress Mukta Bharat, in spite of their attempt to defect, allow more Congress MLAs to defect, still we have quite a good number of MLAs, and also prospect candidates having prospect to win more seats. So we are going to emerge as the single largest party. 60 seats the BJP declared and who they are winning. Now BJP house is a glass house because more than 200 intending candidates who attempted to get BJP ticket now they are angry with the BJP system of allotting tickets, came to the street and they came to the public and are now fighting among themselves. So all those intending candidates who could not get the ticket, now they have started criticizing the BJP.
Okay.
BJP therefore has become a glass house. It is
Now,
transparent of all
right.
the criticisms
Let me-
they deserve. So
Yes.
generally we don't have any actually Congress and the NPP doesn't class in the vote bank. Only BJP and the NPP they are
Okay, let
classing.
me-
They have a class of interest in the vote bank.
Right. Let me bring in Mr. Prithviraj. I am coming to you, Sarda Devi ji. Let me bring in Prithviraj. Prithviraj, you have to answer 2 points. One, which Ritika brought out this point, saying that we mean business. We'll go all out to win. We'll emerge as the largest single party. There is nothing called friendly contest in an election. Now Devabrata of the Congress is saying, Devabrata ji is saying that, NPP will eat into the BJP votes. And this also indicates that BJP and its allies are totally divided today. How do you respond?
Well, the first question I would like to address is the NPP one. See, good luck to NPP. They have fielded 40 candidates and they're going to go all out. Yes, good thing. Like you have said that in an election, especially in electoral politics, there's nothing called a friendly fight. Friendly fights happen especially in football matches and cricket matches, not in electoral politics. Yes, good luck to them. But as far as the mood of the state of Manipur is concerned, the people of Manipur, both in the hill and the valley, have witnessed massive changes, good governance in the state of Manipur under the dynamic leadership of Shri N. Biren Singh ji. See, Manipur was, synonymous to buns and blockades in the last, before this Biren Singh ji's government. But if you see, in the last 5 years, nothing of that sort of that happened. The trust deficit between the hill and valley have a quantum jump.
Right.
And like you see, this government is a coalition government, and NPP is a integral part of the government since the inception. And we all know, the people of Manipur knows that NPP has been a trouble ally. They have given a lot of troubles and they do not follow the coalition dharma from day one. So the people of Manipur want a very strong and very stable government. So that's the reason why
I have to bring in Ritika. I have to give her an opportunity to respond. Ritika, BJP is still your alliance partner. You are still an ally of the BJP in Manipur. And the BJP leader is saying that you did not follow, the NPP did not follow the coalition dharma right from day one. It has been a troubled ally. That means this is already an indication that if the BJP manages to get the numbers, then they are going to dump the allies, whether it is your party or whether it is others.
So can I just answer that thing about the coalition dharma that I've been saying?
Please do.
So if it was coalition dharma or coalition ethics, I think the first thing is that we need to have a name for the coalition government, which the BJP did not do. Secondly, after that, we should also have a common minimum program, which was never done. So who is not respecting the coalition dharma, who is not respecting the coalition ethics? I think this is a question that I need to throw back to BJP. And it is not NPP who has been uprooting the coalition dharma in that sense.
Prithviraj ji, you have to answer this, Mr. Prithviraj.
Sure, I will. See, like I've said, from the inception of the government, the NPP with 4 MLAs, mind you, NPP has got 4 MLAs and also the NPF also have 4 MLAs, which is a coalition government of multiple parties. But the NPP has been given the biggest, share of the pie. All 4 MLAs were inducted as cabinet ministers, and one of them has been made the deputy minister, chief minister. And all throughout last 5 years, like you said, I have mentioned, see, giving a name or not a name is not a big deal. So the problem is they were all given full cabinet ministers. And from day one, like I've said, that in the Lok Sabha.
No, I think we lost that audio. We lost that audio to Prithviraj. We'll fix the audio. But let me go to Sarda Devi ji. Miss Sarda Devi, आपको क्या लगता है? बहुत ही लोगों का कहना है कि एनपीपी आपका मेन चैलेंजर हो सकता है. मेन चैलेंजर, योर मेन चैलेंजर कुड बी द एनपीपी. ना आप क्या समझ, ये क्वेश्चन मैंने दूसरा पैनलिस्ट को भी पूछा था, आपके लिए कौन सा आपका मेन राइवल होंगे, कांग्रेस या एनपीपी?
देखिए, अभी कांग्रेस तो अभी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के तो कांग्रेस मुक्त भारत का अभियान शुरू किया है ना, उसी से लेके अभी तक तो वो लोग पूरा इंडिया के फ्लोर से, इंडिया के वो जो उई से धीरे धीरे सब बाहर होने जा रहे हैं. मणिपुर में भी आप लोग ने पहले देखा होगा, जब मैं प्रेसिडेंट बन के आया तब इंडियन नेशनल कांग्रेस का मणिपुर प्रदेश का प्रेसिडेंट पार्टी ज्वाइन किया है. अभी भी बहुत लोग जो है, तो हम इसमें ये कहना चाह रहे हैं कि हाँ, वो लोग हमारी कोalition गवर्नमेंट में है एनपीपी, फिर भी हम फ्रेंडली ये जो फाइट कर रही है, फाइट जो है एनपीपी ज़्यादा वो जो है कांग्रेस से, तो हम ऐसे फ्रेंडली फाइट जो कर रहे हैं ना सब लोग, कोalition में है तो एनपीपी हमारी फाइट जो करेंगे. अभी ज़्यादातर बीजेपी छोड़ के कोई भी पार्टी इतना एक्टिव नहीं है, मतलब इतना वो जो सीट आने का उम्मीद नहीं है, तो कांग्रेस से ज़्यादा एनपीपी थोड़ा आगे है, ये तो बोल सकते हैं.
ओके,
तो इतना
कांग्रेस
बीजेपी के साथ
ओके.
स्ट्रांगली फाइट करने वाला पार्टी
देवव्रता
नहीं
जी,
है.
आपने सुना, you have heard Sarda Devi ji saying that, more than the Congress, NPP is ahead in this poll battle, so they would like to consider giving a lot of more weight to the NPP than to the Congress.
I'm not getting the audio.
No, my question, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
So Ms. Sarda Devi, the state BJP president, is saying that BJP would like to give more weight to the NPP than to the Congress. She is saying that NPP is a little bit ahead in the electoral race than the Congress in Manipur. Well, how do you respond?
That is a very incorrect, Wasbir. Why? Because BJP, most of the candidates of the MPP are those who could not get ticket from the BJP. So therefore, the BJP knows very well who are the people who has got the NPP ticket or NPP has nominated out of the 40 seats. I hope 40 they are going to contest. BJP doesn't hardly know anything about the capacity and the winnability of the candidates of the Congress party, because we have filled that 70 new faces in our first 40 seats that we declared. So in the coming remaining 20, we are going to declare in the coming 1 or 2 days. So with that, the new faces that they will see, they will be surprised to find they have never pursued any ticket of the BJP or of the NPP. It is a very clearly new faces. So in that way, BJP's opinion that they are trying to undermine Congress, NPP as a threat they are perceived, because they may also come together after the election post-poll scenario. That is the estimate of the BJP. If BJP could get more than 30 seats, an absolute majority, they may dump the NPP. Because this Chief Minister has already said many times in the public, also criticized the NPP that they should almost resign from the coalition. To that level, they have fought. And then now, the BJP is attempting to undermine the Congress, which in reality is not going to happen.
Okay.
Because
now,
they have undermined the constitution, the law, the convention, the ethics of politics, and allowed the Congress MLAs to defect from the Congress. Even the first minister they have given to Shyam Kumar, Mr. Shyam Kumar, they have destroyed all the constitutional merit and they did not follow all the procedure of the established law.
Okay,
in that sense,
right.
BJP is trying to completely destroy the Congress, but still we are surviving, we are emerging, we are resilient, we are fighting now, we are coming to complete 460 seats, and you'll see Wasbir, all the exit polls estimate, we are ahead of the BJP.
Okay. Now, I'll have to go for a break, but very quickly, Ritika, Ritika, a lot of people say that this is a strategy. Actually, there is already despite what Prithviraj is saying, despite what other BJP leaders may be saying, but there is a strategic alliance between the NPP and the BJP, which are both parts of the NDA. that you will any case side with the BJP after the elections, because if there is a fractured verdict, then the NPP will have the BJP to fall back on, and the BJP would have the NPP to fall back on. Therefore, it is a strategic alliance. Do you consider yourself as a strategic alliance partner?
See, I think for NPP, we look at two things, no? The central alliance, and then we also have to look at in terms of the local scenario. So for that, we have a different approach. So all those things, the alliance, whom to ally with, and all these things, I think that would be a little bit premature to talk about it right now, because we have to look at it after the numbers. So at least in the local context, we have that option open, like when the numbers come. So I think it's still a bit immature to talk about whom to side with and whom not to. But with the central alliance, it's certainly still there with the BJP. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go for a short break. When I come back, I'll go straight to Prithviraj Singh, who is contesting as a BJP candidate from Moirang. Very interesting scenario in Moirang, because now Mr. Prithviraj Singh, who has come from the Congress and joined the BJP in October last year, is the candidate, while the sitting MLA P. Sarachandra has quit the party BJP today and joined the Congress, is most likely be the Congress candidate. We'll have to wait and watch. I'll go for a short break. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Going to Prithviraj, who is the BJP candidate for the Moirang Assembly seat. Very historic place, historic constituency in Manipur. That's the place where Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had hoisted the tricolor. And one can say that's the very, very historic significance Moirang has. Mr. Prithviraj, you are in a very unique situation, isn't it? You joined the BJP from the Congress. You were given the ticket. The sitting MLA P. Sarachandra was denied the ticket. He has joined the Congress today. So you said a little while ago that your candidature came as a result of the survey. Survey saw you as a winning candidate. Now, how do you see, do you honestly think that you will be having to face some odds, or do you think that is not the case?
Well, first of all, Wasbir, like I've said before also, that when I joined the BJP, I have no conditions. I joined unconditionally. And when I joined, I have mentioned that I believed in the principles and the good work and the good governance of Shri Narendra Modi ji at the center, and also under the dynamic leadership of Shri N. Biren Singh ji in the state of Manipur. So when I joined, I was never given an assurance as far as a ticket is concerned. And I have said it category, and it's all in public domain. On the day of joining, Madam President was also there. The Honorable Chief Minister was there. Our State Prabhari was there. Union Minister was there. I have stated on very clearly that as far as the ticket is concerned, whatever the party high command decide, I will fall in line. And that was the same till yesterday. So when I was, see, that's what I said. I was told by my party high command that the distribution of ticket will be based on survey reports, which will be conducted on 2, 3, 4 phases. And that did exactly happen yesterday. And I have mentioned that that other states also, that sitting MLAs and ministers were denied ticket. So this is not the first of one of its kind which has happened to my constituency in particular. It has happened in other states, and I believe that it will happen in the upcoming other elections to come. So this gives a very clear and loud and clear message that in the BJP, it is whether you perform or perish. If you don't perform, especially as an intending candidate, whether you are a big minister or whether you are an MLA who has won more than record number of margin in the last election, but what matters is today. What you are, what your position at the ground today matters.
Right. Yeah. Right. I'll come back to you, Prithviraj. Hold on. Let me once again turn to Ms. Sarada Devi ji. Ms. Sarada Devi, आपका जो अलायंस पार्टनर्स है, आप किसका साथ जाएंगे? इलेक्शंस के बाद क्या आपका नया मित्र दल होंगे? will you have new alliance partners, और आप क्या existing आपका जो alliance partners है उनके साथ ही आप रहेंगे? आपका क्या सोचना है?
अभी हम तो नेशनल पार्टी है, हमारे ऊपर में हाई अथॉरिटी है, तो हायर अथॉरिटी जो लोग हैं वो लोग हम प्रदेश के साथ बैठ के डिसीजन लेंगे, वही लाइन में जाएंगे। अभी तक तो हम इसका मतलब फाइनल वो जो नहीं हुआ है, अभी भी हम कोलिशन में जो फाइट कर रहे हैं, कोलिशन गवर्नमेंट है जो फाइट कर रहे हैं सब लोग, तो आने वाले दिनों का आफ्टर द इलेक्शन, आफ्टर द डिक्लेरेशन, इलेक्शन डिक्लेरेशन, तो हम हायर अथॉरिटी जो डिसीजन लेंगे वही लाइन में जाएंगे।
ना मेरा अगली प्रश्न है आपसे सरदा देवी जी, ना बीजेपी का अगर नंबर खुद अपना से मिल गया, सपोज बीजेपी गेट्स द मेजॉरिटी ऑन इट्स ओन, क्या आपका जो एग्जिस्टिंग अलायंस पार्टनर्स है उनको क्या आप छोड़ देंगे?
नहीं, देखिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी जो हमारे पार्लियामेंट में कितना जो सीट आया है आप लोग पता है, फिर भी अभी हम सबको साथ में लेके जा रहे हैं। तो हम जो पहले मैंने बताया है, हम नेशनल पार्टी है, हम प्रदेश है, तो नेशनल पार्टी में जो हमारी जो हाई कमान है, वो हाई कमान जो डिसीजन लेंगे वही दिशा में जाएंगे, हम वहीं पे जाएंगे। और अभी जो हम पूरा सीट जो हमारा कॉन्फिडेंस है 40+ जो हम बता रहे हैं, तो मैं इसका एग्जांपल दे रही हूँ। हमारा सीट जितना आएगा, तो दिल्ली में भी हमारी पार्लियामेंट्री में जितना जो हमारी सीट मेजॉरिटी जो है, तो हम सबको लेके जा रहे हैं, तो हाई कमान का हम डिसीजन पे फॉलो करेंगे।
Okay, BJP very tight-lipped there, wants to play the card, very secretively rather, I would say. Sarda Devi ji not committing whether the BJP, if it gets the numbers, will got to continue with the allies or dump them or look for new allies, saying that it's a national party and therefore we'll have to. Now, let me turn to you, Ratika Yumnam, an NPP youth president from Manipur. Ratika, you said that you are going to fight. This is going to be, what is, according to you, who are you going to take it more seriously? Is it your Congress rivals or is it the BJP rivals? Because in 40 constituency in a state where there are only 60 seats, it's a large number. So you will have BJP candidates in 40 constituencies. You will have also Congress candidates in most of them. So what is going to be your strategy? Are you going to point out some of the failures of the state government under Biren Singh?
See, strategy-wise, for NPP, we've always maintained that we believe in positive politics. So for us, main concerns are the issues that are plaguing the region. So things like AFSPA, things like indigenous rights, things like the environment. And because of that, we have put our manifesto first before announcing our tickets. So, and I believe that none of the parties like Congress or BJP, they still haven't brought out their manifesto. So the issues are more important to us. So that is the key that we are using in terms of our campaign and our strategy. And if you're looking in terms of whom we're fighting, it depends on constituency. And I think we need to have a more regional understanding of our state. So in the hills, there'll be a different, it may be the NPF and not so much the BJP. So in certain constituencies, the Congress may be the, slightly more rival for NPP, whereas in certain areas, it may be BJP. So I think in a place like Manipur, which is so much guided by, ethnic politics, at the same time, different regional issues in each constituencies, I think we can't just say that, it's all out BJP or it's all out Congress or, so there are certain intricacies in these.
But when Mr. Prithvidas was saying that NPP did not follow the coalition dharma, you had replied to it. I'm not going into that, but it's also a reality that the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Joykumar Singh, had almost resigned on one occasion in the early days of the coalition government. He had also publicly talked about the style of functioning, and later, of course, the NPP stayed on. Do you think that these differences have continued? Do you think that is one of the reasons of this irreconcilable differences, despite you both the parties staying on, that you have decided to contest as many as 40 seats and trying to teach the BJP a lesson in Manipur?
I don't think it's a question of teaching the BJP a lesson or anything. I think we're more in terms of addressing the real issues. Like there were certain issues that people were not happy with the present BJP government. Something like lack of this really we can't even exercise much of our freedom of expressions, things like that. So these areas, the youth really feel that their freedom have been curbed and all, and also issues like certain mishandling of like the COVID crisis and all those things. So there are internal issues that needs to be worked out. So we wouldn't all out say that it's against BJP or it's against Congress, but they haven't been able to deliver the goods that they promised to the people. So these are the certain areas that we have.
Your Ritika, hold on. Very serious allegations, Prithviraj. Your coalition ally is till today. The NPP is your ally, but NPP is openly saying that freedom of expressions there is serious question on the freedom of expression in Manipur. There were curbs on freedom of expression, and that the BJP failed to implement a lot of its promises made to the people. How do you respond?
Well, these are all non-issues because here and there, a couple of things, somebody writes something on social media, like, then somebody have crossed the limit, you have some cyber laws to tackle that. So everything is happening according to law. So I don't think that's a big enough issue. As far as the COVID issue, my panelists have raised is that, first of all, we need to understand that the COVID is a pandemic. It's not happening only to the state of Manipur, only in India. It's a pandemic. It has happened. It has hit every one of us very hard. And I believe that the government of Manipur has done a remarkable job as far as handling COVID was concerned. So record number of oxygen plants were set up, both in hill and valley. And as far as the death ratio of COVID patients are concerned, I think Manipur is one of the lowest. And as deliverance of essential food items and handling of containment zones, I mean, Manipur government has done remarkably well. So, like I've said, it's a thing. It's a pandemic which has hit all of us hard. So you cannot blame a single out Manipur government that we have done mismanaged the COVID. So I completely disagree with that.
All right, let me bring in Mr. Devabrata of the Congress. Mr. Devabrata, Mr. Devabrata, in 2017, the Congress emerged as the largest single party with 21 seats, and still you failed to form the government. That means the other legislators did not cooperate. That is the result. That is only the reason why the BJP could form the government. Do you think you have enough allies today? Who are your alliance partners? Because it is common knowledge that there may be once again a coalition government in Manipur. Who knows? In that scenario, which are the allies of the Congress party? Do you consider the NPP also as a potential ally?
Wasbir, I'll come to the first point that you raised. In 2017, we got 28 seats and could not form the government. Could not form the government, this is a wrong phrase, because we are not allowed, we were not allowed and prevented from forming the government by the governor, by the then governor. Even see in the latest issue of the disqualification issue of the 12 parliamentary secretaries of the BJP, the governor, the then governor and the present governor did not give any interest to disqualify
your party
the 12
was caught
parliamentary
napping.
secretaries.
Your party was caught
against
napping.
the wishes, no, that was wrong. It's not caught napping. It was, we were prevented by the governor. What to do then? Because governor was in the power to make a choice of the two options. Because the then governor, lady governor, opted for allowing the BJP to form the government outside the constitution. What we can do then? Somebody is breaking the law. We are going to the court, to the government of India. Nobody listens what to do, because that was what happened. But secondly, I come to the point of the coalition partner. Suppose Congress could not form the government single-handedly. Of course, outside BJP, we can ally with anybody, because we have to bring a new government. Everybody is fed up with the government, contrary to what Prithviraj has said, because when he was with us, he was not satisfied with the government. He has
Right.
changed
Now,
his position.
come
Now
to the
he has to speak
present
for the
scenario.
BJP.
Devabrata ji, come to the present
I am
scenario. Which are the
to
Congress's
I am
potential
coming to the
partners
present scenario.
now? Which are the Congress's potential partners now? Do you consider the NPP? Do you consider the
Except
NPP
BJP.
also?
Why not? Why not? We can ally with anybody other than the BJP. That is our position. Otherwise, then the BJP, we can ally with anybody to form a government. That is our new position.
Okay, that's a big statement coming from the Congress. Other than the BJP, the Congress in Manipur is ready to ally with any other party, and that includes the NPP. That is what Mr. Devabrata, Congress spokesperson, has said. Let me once again go to Sarda Devi. Miss Sarda Devi, what will be the BJP's key election agenda? I'm running short of time. I'll have to go to all the panelists. What will be your key election agenda? क्या होंगे election agenda?
हम पीस एंड डेवलपमेंट को लेके जाएंगे कि अभी मणिपुर में अभी पीस जो हो गया है और फिर डेवलपमेंट भी हो रहे हैं, अभी डेवलपमेंट कर रहे हैं, तो हम पीस जो है, पीस होगा तब डेवलपमेंट ही होगा. तो पीस अभी मणिपुर में ये जो आप लोग देखिए, आप लोग ने नहीं सुना होगा तो पहले 100 दिन से ज़्यादा ब्लॉकेट हुआ था, नहीं हुआ. कितना फेक एनकाउंटर का जो सुना होगा आजकल नहीं है. इतना बंद ब्लॉकेट सब कुछ नहीं हुआ है. और साथ साथ जो हम महिलाएं, ज़्यादातर महिलाएं, मेरा पाई सब लोग, निशाबंदी सब लोग रात को बाहर ठंडी समय में बैठ के हमारा मणिपुर का जो सभी बेटा, हमारे सभी लोग कब क्या होगा इसके चिंता में थे, सो नहीं पा रहे थे. तो अभी आराम से हम घर में सोने का मौका मिला.
Now, सरदा देवी जी, ये बताइए, अगर बीजेपी जीतते हैं तो क्या एन बीरेन सिंह जी दोबारा चीफ मिनिस्टर होंगे?
इसमें क्वेश्चन करने का तो इतना जो जरूरी नहीं है. अभी अभी तो हमारा चीफ मिनिस्टर है, जो बाकी बाद में आएगा तो देखा जाएगा. अभी तो हमारा चीफ मिनिस्टर है, क्वेश्चन का एराइज करने का जरूरी नहीं है.
Okay, very diplomatic answer. Biren Singh is our chief minister now. There is no need to ask this question now, but as journalists, we ask these kind of questions. We survive on these kind of questions. I will thank you very much, Sarda Devi ji. Miss Ratika Yumnam, what will be your key election agenda? You have said, that you have also going to highlight some of the, you have said that BJP could not fulfill some of its promises, and you have said that you talked about the freedom of the press. Are you going to talk about these issues before the electorate? Do you or what is your positive agenda?
See, we have already laid that out in our manifesto also.
Yeah.
So the key issues that we are focusing, besides the political issues, because that of course requires a larger consultation and a little more patience to deal with it. But we are focusing more on social sectors like education, especially like early childhood education, and then healthcare, and of course environment, because geopolitically looking, Manipur is also very sensitively placed. And also things like gender justice, women empowerment, and also the gender minority and all. And of course, we will be laying a big focus on the youth itself and issues about unemployment and things like how, all these recruitments are there, but then, the delay of announcing the results. And that's why a lot of these issues and all. So these are the key issues that we'll focus
Ritika,
on.
you have heard Devabrata ji of the Congress saying that, they have no problem in aligning with anybody other than the BJP, and that includes the NPP. Will the NPP also, if necessary, be willing to ally with the Congress in Manipur?
I think that will depend on how we perform also and how the numbers come out. So, of course, we will also keep all our options open. I mean, we are also a political identity on our own. So we will take the decision as the time comes.
Okay, NPP there also making it very clear that they are also going to keep their options open, that they are an independent political party capable of taking their own decisions. A very, very significant statements coming from both the NPP as well as the Congress in Manipur. Now, Prithviraj, do you think this election is going to be easier than the one in 2017? Do you think this is going to be tough? Because the BJP seems to be having a problem of plenty. How this ticket aspirants who did not get the tickets, or how the 3 MLAs who were denied tickets, do you think they will also mobilize their resources to defeat the official candidate? Do you think that is going to happen, or do you think they will fall in line in the coming days?
Well, I think problem of plenty is a good thing to happen, especially. And like you have said that I think this 2022 election will be much, much easier as far as the BJP is concerned than the last election, which happened in 2017. Because we are, like I have said, that the mood of the people of Manipur want a very strong and a very stable government under the leadership of the BJP. So the last 5 years has been a turbulent year for Shri Biren Singh Ji's government. Apart from all the trouble allies from 5 years, Biren Singh Ji have delivered. Like our Madam President have mentioned that our key issues and agenda is peace and development. Peace have happened. We have brought peace in the last 5 years, and development has been happening in a rapid pace. And you'll be glad to know that the first train has arrived at the Rani Gaidenglu station in the district of Tamenglong. So the BJP made promises 5 years ago. We have delivered it, and that's the people of Manipur in particular. Believe in the dynamic leadership of Prime Minister who promises and delivers. So that is the key agenda: development and peace. So I believe that it will be very, I'm not saying that it will be a cakewalk. If I said I'll be very arrogant, but I can, confidently say that this would be a much easier election as far as comparing to the last 2017 elections.
All right. All right, BJP, they are extremely confident. Prithviraj sounding confident. A. Sarada Devi sounding confident. The Congress, Debabrata has made it very clear that Congress cannot be ignored in Manipur, that they are going to emerge as the largest single party. That also indicates the confidence in the Congress camp. And NPP, all eyes will be on, of course, on the NPP, because the NPP has decided to contest the 40 seats despite being an alliance partner. And the NPP leader, very, very vocal there, talking about some of the issues, saying that the BJP could not deliver. But at the end of the day, elections, the voters, as I always say, voters are king as far as elections are concerned. We'll have to wait and watch. These are the early days of the electoral process. There will be a lot of currents and cross currents, lot of points and counterpoints in the days ahead. Northeast Live will cover Manipur elections like no one else, and we'll bring you all the nitty-gritties, all the details from all over the state, and spanning all the political parties, bring forth you diverse views and opinions as far as the election 2022 in Manipur are concerned. I thank all my panelists for participating in the program and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.